And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been like 8 months since I've done this. This is completely embarrassing, but I am back. Welcome to For the Wrestling Smarks. Have traditional, the old school, the gang with me. My boy Kyron Chase. Kyron, what is going on?
What's good, Mark? What's up, Malik? I'm glad we're finally back, and also happy International Women's Day to all the strong, independent queens out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Malik motherfucking Kelly. What's going on, bro?
Nothing, bro. Just chilling, just chilling.
I got that Led Zeppelin shirt on. Name me three Led Zeppelin songs right now, bro.
Stairway to Heaven. That's the only one I can think right now.
Damn.
Immigrant song? I mean, that's the biggest one they probably have.
I mean, I ain't like a crazy Led Zeppelin fan. Not Nirvana, though. You already know.
Yeah, I got you. I feel you. Of course, it's your boy, Mark Rambo, MFLG. You know how we rocking, man. So, at every birth, right? We've pretty much missed a lot to go over within 8 months. I mean, we're definitely not going to go through an 8 month span. We're going to go over what we just witnessed the past week. So we could start simply from the news of Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, Tommaso Ciampa, if you guys do not know, was forced to vacate his NXT title simply due to a neck injury, which I believe I was told has been nagging him for the past couple of months, actually. And knowing how much momentum Tommaso Ciampa has, how do you guys think this is going to kind of like alter the whole NXT takeover atmosphere come WrestleMania weekend? Because we know they were said it's going to be Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. Tommaso's hurt. Who's next?
Well, let me just say before I even get to it, I'm definitely disappointed about Tommaso's injury because for a lot of reasons. One, he's been doing some of the best, probably been the best work of anyone in WWE at the moment. But I'm upset for a lot of reasons. One, I never want to see someone have to go through neck surgery. Two, I'm upset because the biggest storyline in NXT history was going to have its conclusion on WrestleMania weekend. That's off the books. Now, here's why I'm upset about it. When now we know Ciampa's been dealing with this injury for a while, and Triple H was smart enough to not have him work too hard at NXT. That's mainly why he's been teaming with Johnny, and he still, even though he had his neck problems, he still wanted to go through WrestleMania weekend because he wanted to have that match with Johnny. Because, like I said, the culmination for a feud that's been building for 3 years. But here's what I think hurt. Well, not what. This is the problem. When Vince called him up out of nowhere, remember he didn't consult Triple H at all. Mm-hmm. And so, for all we know, Vince didn't know about the storyline or the fact that Tommaso's neck wasn't going well. And obviously, stiff matches with the Revival in the bar is going to help re-aggravate it. So if Vince had consulted with Triple H first, and Triple H said, hey, Tommaso, his neck isn't doing too well, but we want to finish the storyline, don't let him do too much, then we might be having a different conversation. I'm not trying to blame it completely on Vince, but if Vince had handled that situation a different way, Tommaso might not need surgery until after the match. Now, the thing is, at least Triple H did, prepare for this because they have a storyline planned out. They had something planned in case Tommaso couldn't make WrestleMania weekend, but disappointed knowing the fact that a feud that I've been emotionally invested in since, for 3 years now, and for all the right reasons, all the twists and turns from, Johnny having to go different ways with his character to finally win something, and now teaming back up with Tommaso, and now it was supposed to culminate and take over New York. It hurts me to see that, and I hope Tommaso gets better.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. What you think about this, Malik?
I didn't. Well, first of all, I didn't know he was dealing with it for a while. That's the first time I heard about that. But it definitely sucks. I mean, I don't know who's in line now for the championship because I don't know if Aleister Black and Ciampa Gargano are coming up to the roster now. So I don't know what they're gonna do with the title now. I don't know what they have planned. I'm interested to see what they got going on, but it sucks. Second injury he's had since he's been at NXT. The first one, it sucked, but he came back better than he was before. Was on a roll, and then to see this happen, it sucks. So sometimes, you see a lot of guys in good positions. They get injury prone a lot. They get good momentum going, but then they get hurt again. So I mean, it sucks that he's in this position. So hopefully he can get better and come back and maybe he comes back to NXT. Maybe he goes to the main roster. We'll have to wait and see. But hopefully he comes back better than he was before.
Here's the thing with me. I don't want him. I don't feel one. As much as I love Johnny, I don't feel like it's gonna be right unless he wins the title from Tommaso. It won't feel right.
It won't.
And two, I don't want neither one of them on the main roster until we get the conclusion of this storyline. Like I said, this has been the biggest storyline in NXT history that's built up since really the first the CWC back in 2016. Them winning the title, them not winning the titles in Brooklyn, then them winning the titles in Toronto, them losing the titles, not regaining them. Then what happened in Chicago when they officially broke up. You had Ciampa getting injured in that match, so that already sidelined it. Then you had Ciampa come back in Philadelphia, and now the feud finally started. You had that great match in New Orleans, a great match in Chicago, and this is when the Johnny started to change. Then they had the match in Brooklyn, when Johnny really changed. Then Johnny, I'm not gonna say turned heel, but that's when the feud with Aleister Black. They went their separate ways for a little while, and then now Johnny finally wins gold, but he loses it, and now they're teaming together. Literally for 3 years, this feud's been building up, and I don't want it to end until unless it's in NXT, because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens feud didn't end in NXT, and that was, even though that match was good, I don't think the main roster was perfect for that feud ending.
For me, in my opinion, in regards to this whole situation, I would kind of have to agree with Kyron. Like when you said earlier, this whole feud goes a long way. Let's be real. This thing goes a long way back. I'm talking, what was it, Chicago, I believe.
If you want to count when Tommaso turned on Johnny Chicago, if you want to go back to when they were teaming up, go back much further than that.
Yeah, much further. I'm talking when Tommaso turned heel. I mean, that was like the culminating point of their whole relationship, and I think like that was what really. I mean, people already loved DIY when they won the tag team gold in NXT and such, and they were like really getting this familiar. They were really becoming familiar to the NXT crowd. When Tommaso turned heel in Chicago, everybody was like, "Oh my God, what's happening? What's next?" And then they have these continuously good matches over and over and over again, and it felt like they were legitimately telling a story, and people, like you said, Karen, were emotionally invested in this. Takeover New York was supposed to be the conclusion, and stuff happens. We can't really complain. It's the way of the business, and people get hurt. That's a part of it. Some things you can't control. But I really hope it doesn't derail everything that's happened those past, I don't know, times, the past the months since the whole heel turn, and really since they were in DIY together. I hope it doesn't make fans forget, like, hey, this is what really happened. That's my concern.
See, this is the problem with bringing them on the main roster, especially in the especially the way they came. I'm not gonna say that was one that was terrible, and two, not mentioning anything about what they've gone through, and not blaming that on Vince. And that legitimately, like, I mean, that call up legitimately pissed me off. But
I think it was too early for the call up period. They should have done it after Mania.
Exactly, and they didn't do it in the right city. And the worst thing is, Triple H even said, like, he didn't even know about this until like a few minutes, 30 minutes before the show started. And like I said, Vince consulted Triple H. And Vince had known about the storyline and known Tommaso was hurt, then maybe he wouldn't have been worked as hard. Because remember, what he had to do, doing Raw, SmackDown, NXT house shows, like, that put more strain on him.
Mm-hmm. It's not called for him, man. You about to say something, Luke?
No.
I was, with me, it's like, I don't understand why. Like, we know past 2 years, 3 years, maybe even before that, there have been NXT calls, and that's what makes the Monday after Mania so special. That's what makes You know, the Monday after Mania is so great, along with the crowd atmosphere and everything, that energy and such. You have people like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa and Aleister Black. Aleister Black. Oh my gosh, it was the worst debut in my opinion because nobody really reacted to him the way that they should have. Like if you watch that video, to me, knowing an NXT crowd, say I don't know. It was just some happened to be some takeover, and Aleister Black happens to be a part of a match. You're hearing the crowd chanting and singing to their song, to his song, because they know Aleister Black. They know like everything that entails with him. But in this main roster debut, it was like nobody knew him, and maybe because it just wasn't the city, maybe it just wasn't the right time. I don't know what it was. But I just feel like it was way too soon, and they should have waited for all of those NXT superstars to go after Mania.
See,
That's
this is what as someone who follows a lot of dirt sheets and the people I've subscribed to, like JD, who reports this type of stuff. Apparently Vince like threw them out there because these are the four biggest guys in NXT. Well, let's see if they sink or swim. That was the worst thing you could have done because you put them in front of a crowd that didn't give a fuck, and it hurt. And it hurt the entire show. Like, and you can check my tweets there. I've actually haven't followed Disney as much as usual, and I've actually toned down my negativity on Twitter. But when that show legitimately pissed me off, I was angry because literally four of my favorite wrestlers, especially Johnny and Tommaso, and Alistair, especially Alistair. I mean,
Aleister, yes.
And then the worst thing is they had Alistair Black in his debut, not only against what was it, Elias, but he took way too much damage. That's not what you do.
You know, like I think about it like this: what is how is okay? Let's say like they're having a good run so far. They're for hell, Aleister Black and Ricochet are going to be in Fastlane. That's what I've been told. And for the tag team championship, and they've only been in there for like 3 weeks. Like they're doing good so far, but like what's going to happen once they split up? They're going to. I have this weird feeling that Aleister Black is slowly going to go down. He's going to slowly going to go down because Vince doesn't know how big Aleister Black is. And like you just said, Triple H knew about this 30 minutes beforehand. So that means he wasn't aware. He had no real decision making to really do. Like, I fear, the same way I fear about Velveteen Dream, I fear that Aleister Black isn't going to be used to his fullest potential. Same with Tyler Breeze. Where's Tyler Breeze now in NXT? Because he wasn't used to his fullest potential. In NXT, he was a star. Ty Dillinger, for a perfect example, was a star. Was not used to his fullest potential. And then next thing you know, for all we know, you might want to get released from the I mean, I'm just saying from some wild guess, but that's just my biggest fear in regards to these call-ups, and as well as it being too soon. But
and then people wonder why I get so angry about NXT call-ups.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you have, especially, I mean, I get angry because of people being misused. Not usually on the call-up day itself, but that was the day I was angry on the exact call-up day. Because, like I said, you threw them out there, people didn't know who they were, and Vince really didn't care about what was going down in NXT. I'm sorry, but you can't have, I mean, NXT had Johnny and Tommaso teaming up, yes, but the difference is they actually had a segment play, and it showed that Tommaso even told Johnny, you know, we're stronger together. You lost the title last week. I didn't have your back. That makes sense. But with the main roster, with not doing any of that, you neglect to tell, you know, the audience that what these two have been through over the last 3 years.
And you know, and I was just thinking when you were talking, and I don't know, I just find this a little funny. Notice how, and this kind of tells you that to me, I think it's a slightly different fan base for each brand. One brand, in my opinion, might know a little bit more than the other. If you notice Aleister Black's debut in Raw, right?
Yeah.
Dead silent. You notice Aleister Black's debut in SmackDown. To me, it was a little different. You know when he went against Andrade? I do believe that was his SmackDown debut match. When he went against Andrade, and they were chanting NXT, NXT, NXT. They were like, they knew like there was some sort of connection between the two. And I kind of find it funny that, people are saying, Raw is the better show, SmackDown is the better show. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I find that maybe those call ups should probably go to SmackDown instead of Raw, simply due to the fans gravitating more to them and wanting them more than the other, company, the other brand, so to speak. That's just a wild thought. I just put my 2 cents in there. Um, there's just a lot we could talk about this week, and I'm gonna get to the good stuff towards the end. Like I feel like we all have recently heard about regarding Ronda Rousey, and I want to clarify that. But I want to get into Monday Night Raw. Triple H called out Batista, pretty much responded to the attack Batista had on Ric Flair. Yes, Batista has returned. This is obviously a freaking like a startup for a WrestleMania match between Batista and Triple H. That should be quite interesting. But what do you think about his little promo, his little segment? And he even mentioned Ric Flair's, now deceased son. I think it's Richard Flair, one of the two. Now deceased son. You know, that was kind of heartfelt. I was like, whoa, like he's bringing up something really personal. And then he mentioned when they see each other, you're not going to see the game. You're going to see the man behind the game or the man behind the character or some sort. Like, how did you feel about that whole segment? Like, what did you see in it?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't watch Raw or SmackDown this week. I just wasn't in the mood. But I'll talk about how I feel about the Triple H Batista stuff. I'm glad it's happening. Batista, attacking Ric Flair. It seems a little bit out of character for Batista, honestly, because especially, with SmackDown 1000, how he talked about Ric Flair, and he's always respected Ric Flair. That seemed a little bit out of character. But when you take into account he was doing it to get Triple H's attention, and let's be honest, that was the first time in a long time where an ending of Raw legitimately had us like wanting to see what was about to happen next. Like no one expected that. Like I knew Batista was gonna be there. I'm thinking he's gonna be there, celebrating. But when I saw him, attack Rick, I'm thinking, wow, okay, you got me. Because I was actually on the fence about Batista Triple H match. Like I'm fine. I was fine with it happening because Batista wanted it, and he even said straight up, he wants to come back to the heel. He even wants to do like a full-time run. And I'm all for that. If he honestly, because let's be honest, his last run with the company, he got screwed over. It wasn't completely his fault. Them trying to make him a babyface, and he told Vince that wasn't going to work. So I'm glad Batista's getting this run that he's asking for because he wants Triple H to retire him. And what's the funny thing is this: Batista is the one person Triple H never beat.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of both Raw,
Triple H. Oh yeah, you're right. You said Batista's one person Triple H never beat. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that pay-per-view matches. Triple H lost all three of them, and I don't think they really had anything else other than that, as far as I can remember. But so I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what's going to happen. But in terms of both Raw and SmackDown, I don't really have much to say because I didn't watch anything from Raw and SmackDown minus the ending of Raw.
Okay. What about you, Malik? How you think about the whole Batista segment?
The promo felt real on Raw.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
It was a really good promo. I like the whole Batista thing when he did it first. I kind of like, I feel like when it comes on Raw, he's gonna say like, I respect Rick, I love Rick, but it wasn't personal, just business. You know what I mean? I did it to get your attention and just to let you know that this has to happen. I want this to happen. Batista has always beaten Triple H since they wrestled. I'm very interested to see where this go from here. Because from what I understand, what I've seen, I don't know if it's true or not, but they said this isn't going to be Batista's last match. So,
oh wow,
if this isn't his last match, then I'm kind of interested. Maybe he wins and then they do something else next year. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if he has anything going on this year that's like movie wise or anything. But I'm happy this match is happening. Batista's always been one of my favorites, so I'm happy that he's finally gonna come back. I can't wait to see. Hopefully he's on Raw. Maybe they said he's gonna be on Raw, but he might not. They might just do like a little thing. He doesn't show up, so maybe he doesn't show up actually. But I hope I can't wait to hear that music, bro. That Batista music. Man,
yeah, his theme song, I love it.
And I hope we come back with the pyro too at WrestleMania. I want to see that pyro just the one last time. But I think this is gonna be they're gonna build this match up as one of the top matches for WrestleMania. I mean, they're gonna give this match a lot of attention, obviously. So, I can't wait to see the match. I want to see if Batista can still do his thing. He's 50 now, so I want to see if he can still do his thing. I want to know Triple H if he's fully recovered from that injury he had in November. So I mean,
please.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this match. This is like ruthless aggression era all over again, childhood. So I mean, this is, we grew up watching these guys, back when they were in their primes still. So I mean, I remember watching the first match at WrestleMania. I watched it live, and I remember the whole feud they had, with the Hell in a Cell match and everything. And I think this will be. I'm not gonna say I don't know if it'll be a great match, but I don't think it's gonna be a terrible match. I think the match will live up to expectations. But I can't wait to see what they do on Raw. I mean, hopefully they announce the match at WrestleMania officially on Raw. Maybe they still plant a little more seeds after Raw, but I'm excited for it. I mean, for people who aren't excited for it, I don't understand it. I not can be. I mean, this two of the biggest wrestlers of all time here going at it again for one. Maybe probably, like I said, this may not be the last match. I don't know. This is what I've seen. You can't always believe what you see on the internet, but I mean, if this is the last time, I mean, this is history here. This is the last time, so I mean, you never really know. So I mean, and you're gonna be there too. So I mean, that's the whole part. I wish I could have been there to experience it live, but I think it's gonna be a memorable. It's gonna be a good moment for Batista too, because this is gonna be a moment, the moment that he's wanted for a while. So I mean, if this is his last match, you can definitely expect him to go to Hall of Fame next year. If it's going to be his last match, no question. But if it's not his last match and he does have one last run, I'm interested to see who they put him with. Like, who he's going to work with, what he's going to do. And so we'll have to wait and see. But I think it's going to be a great segment on Raw though Monday. I can't wait to see it.
What I think is going to happen is they're going to probably – we have about 4 weeks left until Mania. They're going to make it official watch, and they're going to build it up piece by piece. And that last Raw before Mania, that last Raw is going to be insane, because I'm talking, not only do we have Triple H and Batista, and that promo, that segment that Triple H had, not only was it like you said, it felt real. Dude, I feel like they're going to take it to the full extent that they might have a flat-out brawl that last Raw before Mania. And this is how I would build it up. Same for Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. I mean, the Beast Slayer, I want him to win. Him being Seth Rollins to win so bad. Like, it is killing me, bro. Like, I want him to win so bad. Like, if he loses, I don't think I would be able to fully comprehend it, bro. Like, Brock Lesnar has held that title and has done absolutely nothing with it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like,
nobody wants to see him as a champion anymore.
He's literally done nothing with it, bro. And like when he first came back to Raw, I mean WWE, like years ago, like 7 years ago, and he were to do that, okay, I could believe it, because he just came straight back from UFC. But this is 7 years later, and he's held the title for like over a year. I mean, stupid stuff like that confuses me. It's like, why? Why, bro? How do you not notice? Anyway, I can go on a record that for years. But we could go on to the other.
This is a match. This is another match. This is another match for Triple H that he could actually win at WrestleMania. Like, when is he?
Oh yeah, he's been on a losing streak.
Every year, mostly every year at WrestleMania. Despite who he faces, he's not going to win. You know what I mean? He just
he beat Sting when he shouldn't have.
But I mean,
yeah, that's facts.
He beat Booker T when he shouldn't have.
Okay, but he has one of the worst WrestleMania records ever for any superstar. He never really wins at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't want to.
This could be a match. This could be a match at WrestleMania where he actually could win. He actually could win, especially if it's going to be his retirement match. It only makes sense. You know what I mean?
Well, Batista wants Triple H to retire him, so maybe Triple H will win.
Yeah, maybe he might never know though. You never know. I mean, the past 3 years though, we knew he wasn't going to win at WrestleMania. He wasn't going to beat Seth Rollins. He wasn't going to beat Roman Reigns. He wasn't going to win last year in the mixed tag team match. So I mean, maybe Triple H, if he retires, I expect him to win. I mean, everybody pretty much loses their retirement. So,
I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Now that and this is just a random thought. I'm thinking about retired people. Uh, I heard you said something on Twitter, Kyron, about Tori Wilson in the Hall of Fame. You said that who was it? Molly Holly,
Victoria and Molly Holly.
Victoria. Was that it? Victoria and Molly Holly?
I personally think I think they probably should go in with Victoria Wilson, but then they be picks who they want. So I wasn't really angry about it. I
Mm.
just personally I barely care that much about the Hall of Fame. Um, I'm not. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I knew they were gonna put Tori Wilson in eventually. I just would have rather seen Victoria and Molly in first.
Okay, that makes sense. I just wanted to clarify on that because I was like, did you just not want her in the Hall of Fame, or was it just like
I
you
don't
felt
care. Like
no?
she was never. I mean, she was never like a good wrestler to be honest. But I mean, she was over with the crowd. She did have a few huge Playboy sales. Um, she did have that long ass storyline with Dawn Marie, which did lead to one great moment. But personally, I've never. I mean, I'd rather see someone else go in that's a woman. But it's whatever to me. I never really had anything against her.
Okay.
yeah. But, all those other people are gonna get in eventually. I mean, they just put Tori Wilson in this year because they want her in. So I mean, it's whatever. Victoria, all those people there are gonna be in eventually. Victoria will be in. Molly Holly's gonna be in. All those people. Mickey James will be in when she retires. So I mean,
Most definitely.
all those people will be in the Hall of Fame eventually. But I mean, I never really. Tori Wilson was never really like, one of my favorites growing up. But I never like disliked her, if that makes sense. Like I never really like disliked her, and no reason to. But I mean, I always thought she was definitely one of the best looking females in wrestling history. That's no question. But, I don't even think she was ever. I don't even think she was ever even the women's champion. I don't even think she even had the title. So I mean,
No, I don't think so. I don't think she did it.
I think for what she for what they had her do, I think she did it very well. Having her go out there and do all those bikini contests and all that stuff they were doing back then. She did perform the best she could at when she had to do all that stuff. Because I did see the interview where she said, I think she was on a podcast not like after she got in the Hall of Fame. She said like she never really felt comfortable doing that stuff, but that's what they asked her to do. So she always went out there and just did the best she could. So I mean, I respect that.
Yeah, I most definitely do. Especially when you know you don't feel comfortable, but it's a part of business. Like you gotta do it, and she did it. And like you said, she did it well. So that's I guess that solidified her spot into the Hall of Fame. And I personally have nothing against Tori Wilson. Like you said, she did what she did, and she did it well. But I also kind of would have to agree with Kyron. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame because she definitely does. But I would have to say like you do have people like Molly Holly who legitimately done some very cool things for the era that they were wrestling in.
I mean, you want to talk about Molly? When she found out that WrestleMania 20 wasn't going to have a women's match, she offered to have her hair shaved just to have a women's title match on there.
Yep. That says a lot right there. That literally says a lot right there. And I feel like she should have been in the Hall of Fame quicker than Tori Wilson. But hopefully, and
I mean,
my
there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that should be in the Hall of Fame for a lot of people, though. I mean,
yeah.
Demolition's still not in the Hall of Fame. They're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. So I mean,
Hell, if you want to be technical like that, then China's not in the Hall of Fame as a solo. She's
Yeah,
in a
but
group.
I didn't bring up China because she's technically going in this year. So I'm not.
Owen Hart's not in there either. He's not in.
Well, that's never happening because Martha won't allow it. So we forget about Owen.
Not in the Hall of Fame. So I mean, there's a lot of people that should be in the Hall of Fame that's not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, so I mean, it takes some time sometimes. Like say, Ultimate Warrior got in. Some people didn't think he was going to go in. So I mean,
but there's a difference though. Ultimate Warrior had to. The difference between Ultimate Warrior and say Owen Hart is it took Ultimate Warrior himself to apologize. For Owen to go in, it's going to take his wife, who still hates WWE, to allow him to go in, even though a lot of wrestlers, hell, even Mark Henry during his Hall of Fame speech 2 years ago said he should be in there. But I mean, last year, my fault. But I don't see unless Martha legitimately like forgives WWE, which is never gonna happen. He ain't going in.
I it sucks. What were you saying, bro?
I said, I mean, maybe they gotta wait till after she passes away. I mean, as bad as that sounds, I mean.
Yeah, that's probably what they're gonna have to do. That's even more important, Chase, if you think about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they don't, if she's not gonna allow them to go, so I mean, let her put her in. That's what they're gonna have to do, I guess. But I mean, there's a lot of people that should be in that won't get in sometimes. I mean, like Edge is always telling Christian he's gonna get in eventually. I mean, you'll get in eventually.
Yeah, Christian definitely needs to be in.
You know what I think about Owen? Back to Owen Hart. You know how I think he'll go in?
Yeah.
The Hart Foundation in general gets inducted. As in the whole Hart Foundation, that technically means Owen be in too.
I heard they were doing something like that, where it would be in Jimmy, Hart, the Anvil, and Brett, I believe.
Yeah, but I don't feel like. Wouldn't it be better if you did a whole foundation as in Brett,
Owen,
Jim, Brian, British Bulldog, and like all of them?
It would make sense. I mean, it most definitely would, but I think they're just trying to stay away. You know, they're treading some very dangerous waters doing that whole thing. So I feel like just the three of them would kind of like give their applaud, like their shout out to Owen Hart, because they know that's probably as good as they'll get. Because like you said, I mean, Owen Hart's wife absolutely hates WWE, like what you just said. I mean, I'm not aware of it. I wasn't aware of it, but I'm sure that's something like that.
I mean, I can't 100%. I can't blame her for not, for hating WWE. I mean, I can't say, well, she has to get over it. Even though I do think it'd be better. I think it's cool for his legacy and his fans if he gets that moment to be in the Hall of Fame. But I understand why she still holds a grudge against WWE. Because I'll be honest, if I was her, I would too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially like everything that went on, like WWE is written all over that. So, being his wife.
It's not like it happened purposely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the same time, Elite, let's say a company, a loved one you had he works for that company, and they make him do something he's not 100% comfortable with, and it ends up him dying. How would you feel about that company?
I mean, I'd be mad, but I wouldn't be like her. Like, I want him in the Hall of Fame and stuff. You know what I mean? But I mean, obviously, I'd be upset. But it's not like they did it on purpose. It's not like they said, let's have him go up there so he can die.
This year would make 20 years since that moment happened. I believe
a lot of people do a lot of things in the company. NFL come through with, and some people, like that. But I mean,
did it cost him their life, Malik?
But if it never cost him his life, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So I mean,
but whether it did or didn't, Malik, that's what happened. I'm not. See, here's the thing. I look at both sides of the argument. I'm of the mindset of Owen, what he did for the company deserves to go in the Hall of Fame. But I'm also of the mindset that says, well, Martha has every right to be upset because they had Owen do something he wasn't comfortable with, and even though it was an accident, he lost his life because of it. If they hadn't made Owen go up there, he'd probably still be alive.
I mean, shit like that happened in his life.
Malik, the way you say that, man, that doesn't sound right. Oh, it's like this isn't an injury we're talking about, Malik. This is someone's death.
But it is though, bro. People come and go. That's life.
People come and go, Malik. But see, Malik, yeah, I agree. People come and go. But I repeat, if WWE didn't make him do that stupid gimmick and make him go up there, he'd probably still be alive.
He probably would, but it's like all that stuff happens, man. I mean, look at everybody in the Hart family. The only one alive is Bret Hart. He's the only one still alive. All those guys are gone.
Yeah, but how many of those was WWE's fault?
Well, none of it's really WWE's fault. I mean, a lot of those guys were doing drug stuff back then. But I mean, a lot of stuff like that happens. I mean, if he'd have fell and still be alive, would it still be that big of a deal?
No, Malik, it wouldn't be. But the fact is, he fell. WWE made him do it, and he's dead because of it. So it's that big a deal.
The only person I know still got a problem with it is her. I ain't never heard Bret Hart say he still got an issue with it. Nobody. I ain't never heard none of the other guys say they still got a problem with it. So I mean.
But do you think? Yeah, I agree with that part, Malik. I do think it's been with being 20 years. Martin still does have a problem with it. Bret doesn't. But let's not forget, Brett had a big problem with that same thing as well. Remember, when he was in WCW, when that happened to Owen, he went into a depression for a few months and took a while off from WCW TV, which is understandable. He lost his brother to something stupid. And I don't remember where I read it, but Brett felt Laura saying, if I was in WWE, that wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have let Owen do it. But I understand some people say, oh, she just had to get over it. But I'm not going to villainize her for that because to her, WWE, I'm not saying to her, WWE, the reason her husband's dead. The reason her son didn't really get to grow up with his father. And if it was me, I don't know how I'd be able to forgive that.
I mean, that's something you're never going to forget. I mean, that's something that she'll have to live with till the day she passes away. But it's like, at some point, you got to move on with your life. You know what I mean? There's nothing that what happened. There's nothing we can do to change it. I mean, that's unfortunately as bad as it was. It happened, and she can't build no time machine to go back to prevent it from happening. It is what it is. So I mean, I don't think she should be bitter about it. Obviously, it's something that she's never going to get over. I mean, she's still going to live with that for the rest of her life. But I mean, it's not like I said, it's not like they did it on purpose. It's not like they did it purposely where, it's like, they forced him to do it and it's like they planned for that to happen. You know what I mean? It's an unfortunate accident that happened and we all wish it didn't happen, unfortunately. But I mean, I think, it's like it's been 20 years since it's happened. So it's like, do you want to grieve about it for the rest of your life or can you find some closure with it and move on and kind of end that chapter in your life? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but like don't forget about it. But you know how people say you kind of have to move on in a sense. I definitely see what you're talking about, Malik. And
that's what I'm saying. Like life moves on with it. Life moves on with it without you. You know what I mean? So it's like, if somebody, like I said, like if somebody you love passes away, obviously it's gonna stick with you for the rest of your life. But it's like
you're gonna have to find a way to kind of grieve,
Well, as a personal experience, let me say it's not easy to move on from stuff like that. And it's not easy to get over it, especially with last year, the second time it happened, losing someone due to being murdered. If they ever find the guy who did it, I'm not gonna forgive him for it because I have no reason to. You took a member of my family away from me. I don't forgive him. Now it's different with Mark because WWE didn't. It was an accident, but at the same time, I understand where she's coming from. I do. I'm not saying, and the thing is, there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong to this. If I understand where Mark is coming from, I feel like you're the reason my husband's dead, and my son's father's dead. But at the same time, I understand where everyone else is coming from of saying, it's been 20 years. We as fans feel like his legacy deserves to be honored in the Hall of Fame. See, I get both sides of the argument. That's why I'm not saying there's no one right or wrong. That's just what I see it as.
I agree. I agree 100%. I agree with both of you guys in regards to the whole closure situation. In regards to the whole, you got to see it from both sides. Like me personally, I've never truly experienced anything that deep in my life. But I could definitely understand from the idea that you lost someone very, very close from Owen's wife's perspective. You lost someone very, very close due to a accident. Don't forget it's an accident that Owen himself, from what I've been hearing, was not exactly super comfortable with. I mean, like as his wife, it's going to be very, very, very hard, especially the way it happened, to say, okay, I need to gain closure. I need to, do this. But at the same time, it's like you can't forget it. Like that's literally going to stick with you the day you are put 6 feet under or something like that. Like it's going to be there with you regardless. The thing is, though, should you hold grudge for the rest of your life? From my opinion, like I said, I haven't experienced anything of that deep of nature. And in my opinion, I don't think you should, but I'm not blaming her for doing it. If that makes sense. Like I don't blame her. I definitely see where she's coming from. That's why it's such a very sensitive topic to talk about because some people are so one sided. They're like, oh yeah, the whole Owen Hart should be inducted and all his legacy and this and that. But you got to think at it from another picture, like another perspective. Like, this is why he's not doing it, because it's so deep and so much that we, from people outside looking in, can only see. Everything we're talking about is opinion based. Unless you're actually in that position and in the family, on Hart's family, like you would know it. But that we're just putting our own 2 cents in it. Like I said, it's a really sensitive topic. I hope to see Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame. I think we all do. I think we can speak. I can speak for all of you guys. I hope we all like to see Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame, but it's only a matter of time. I hope to see it in my lifetime, but yeah. So I don't even know how we got into this topic, to be honest with you.
Because we were talking about people who should be going in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because we were talking about Tori Wilson, which leads me to another topic we could talk about in regards to Raw. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey. I feel like that was one of the highlights of the night. Ronda Rousey goes AWOL on Becky Lynch, goes off on the fans, goes off on pretty much WWE, goes off on the sport in itself and the sports entertainment business perspective of it, goes ham, beats or breaks off of Becky Lynch, and then has the audacity to put her foot on Becky Lynch's throat. What do you think that signifies right there? Someone hit me.
I think this is a long time coming. Ronda should have always been a heel, if you ask me. Because, like I said, I've always commented about she's not the strongest on the mic, but she's stronger when she's being serious and not trying to be nice. And that, once again, shows. Personally, I think WWE's gotten way too complicated with this storyline. I mean, you had Becky winning the Rumble, and then the next night challenging Ronda. That should have been it. That should have been it right there. You still could have had Ronda turn heel. Still could have done that thing, but that should have been it. But then you have Becky, being injured, Becky getting suspended, Charlotte taking, her not getting suspended, Charlotte taking a spot, Becky getting suspended again. Then now you have, Becky attacking both of them, Ronda giving up the title. You have all this, and now this Sunday Becky has to beat Charlotte to earn her, shot into the match. Are we forgetting that Becky won the Royal Rumble? Mm-hmm. Like, why does she have to earn her spot? Shouldn't it be the other way around and have Charlotte have to earn that spot because Becky did win the Rumble? That just doesn't make sense to me.
So she can overcome more. So when she went to WrestleMania to make the moment feel better.
But Malik, you don't need that though, bro. I mean, you could have had her win.
But I think she does need it though. I think
she doesn't.
Because Becky was never going to be involved in this if she never got over it. It was going to be Charlotte and Ronda if Becky never got into where she was.
That is true, Malik. But here's the thing: after Becky, got over as over as she did, she got over. Now she won the Rumble. Why you had to get more complicated with it? Hell, you don't even need to add Charlotte to this match. I mean, if anything, that segment on Monday night showed that Charlotte doesn't need to be there.
But she was always playing. They're not going to change that plan.
But
they were always going to have her involved in that match. And they just didn't, especially after the whole Survivor Series thing, they just didn't do that. Just not go anywhere with that. So, I mean, it was obvious to me that it was going to be triple threat right after that happened. This is going to be triple threat. Regardless, it's going to happen. And
but
you can't have Charlotte win the Rumble because people would have been angry with that. You had Becky win the Rumble, but then you got to find a way to put Charlotte in the match somehow. This is what they've gone with. Could they have done different ways with it? Yeah, I mean they could have done different ways with having Charlotte add to the match. But I mean, it's going to be a triple threat. That's what it was based. That's what it was built off of. Once Becky got hurt and Nia Jax shattered her face, and that match didn't happen at Survivor Series. The match was going to be a triple threat. Like I said, especially when Charlotte was beating her up with that kendo stick after that match.
Yeah,
that was obviously going to lose. They just didn't do that. Just not that had that not go anywhere. So I mean, all this is going to come with a triple threat, and Becky's going to win at WrestleMania, and then she's going to be the champion.
Okay, well here's my counter argument to that. How about instead of having Charlotte just hastily slapped into the match, you have her earn her way into the match? I mean, Becky won the Rumble, but yet we're acting like she still has to earn it. What if it would make more sense if Charlotte had to earn it? I mean, years like WrestleMania 20, WrestleMania 30 got that right, but yet this match can't.
Does that make sense for the heel? Does it make sense for the bad guy to earn their way into the match?
Then if you wanted to do all that, then why not have Charlotte win the Royal Rumble and then have Becky earn it? I mean, Becky winning the Rumble Because Becky winning the Rumble, it feels like she won a Rumble, but it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I agree 1,000% with everything that's going on, man. It got to the point where I even forgot Becky even won the Royal Rumble. To be honest with you, I'm talking through all the suspensions. Like Ronda's just destroying Becky. It doesn't even. It's so much going on, so many factors. Like you said, it just got too confusing. Like, if you wanted to bring Charlotte into it, you could have done it, in my opinion, a different way. Like the way it happened, it lost me. Like of all people, I mean, people we already knew Charlotte was going to be in. Charlotte is like the premier athlete of the women's division. Genetically superior in this case. Like we already knew Charlotte was going to be involved. Like you said, if it wasn't for Becky being as over as she was, she would have never been in the match. But like, if you really, really wanted Charlotte to be in the match, you should have just stuck with Charlotte and Ronda, and then let the man that you know how Stone Cold like the man gimmick is, how she just doesn't care. In some way, let her kind of weave into the whole storyline, and then we could see it. But it's just too much going on between Charlotte just being there, Ronda's like confused and kind of frustrated by the fans. Then you have an injured Becky who's still on crutches, and then Sunday she's supposed to be wrestling. Becky's still on crutches and supposed to be wrestling Charlotte. Like in Sunday, like you lost me. Like, is she clear? Is she not clear? That's what I was thinking. I mean, if you're clear, you kind of don't need the crutches, but she still walks with them.
Here's the thing with
she's not really clear. They made her sign that waiver thing. Remember, like saying, like if anything happens,
whole harmless.
It's not our fault. It's not our fault type thing. So,
okay.
Here's my thing: is like you want to get Charlotte in the match. You're doing all of this, even though I think it's complicated. I would have been okay with all of that. I just would have doing an injury angle. I think that was just a little bit too much. You didn't have to do that.
Exactly, I agree 100%. Like it just confused me. Like it's fine that she's injured, I guess. I mean, I don't even know. Like I told you, I'm confused. I'm just like, it's too much going on, and we still have literally a month left. A day over a month left. Is she still gonna be hobbling on that crutch? Like, I don't know, man. For all we know, she might act. So let me get this straight: is she legitimately injured, or is she faking it?
No, it's just part of the
storyline. She's fine.
Okay. Because at one point I heard it was legit. Like she actually kind of messed up her knee a little bit. But like, even though it's a storyline, it's still kind of like it doesn't sit right with the storyline between the three. That's just
yeah. I mean, I personally still say Charlotte should not be in this match. I mean,
they should have turned Ronda heel as soon as they were going to make it a triple threat because she's not going to. Nobody's going to get cheered more than Becky in this match regardless. So, I
mean, they should have made Ronda heel.
As soon as they told Ronda like, hey, we're going to be Becky, instantly they should have told her you're going to be heel. You got to be heel because when they first brought her in, I thought they were going to make her heel, but people kind of reacted to her. People kind of got behind her a lot more than I expected, so I think they kind of went to go with her babyface a little bit. But once you put her with Becky, dude, you got to turn her heel. There's no way she's getting over more.
They should have made her heel that moment she got booed after Charlotte
Survivor Series,
and then since they didn't do that, they should have booed her when they should have turned her heel at the Royal Rumble when she went against Sasha Banks.
I'll argue they should have made her heel when she screwed Becky and Charlotte at TLC.
That too. I mean, they have numerous times to make her heel. If that was the case, because think about it like this. I don't know what the man is. The man could be a heel, but the crowd loves heels nowadays, so she could be seen as a face. Charlotte is a heel. The crowd loves heels. She could be seen as a face still. Becky, I mean Ronda, at this point, it obviously was not getting cheered in both pay-per-views. So make her one of those real devious.
It's only a matter of time. Eventually, the fans were going to turn on her at some point. They were only going to be. They were only going to cheer her for a matter of time until she started facing the people that they liked more, and that's when they were sort of going to start turning on her. But I mean, her as a heel makes more sense, you know. When she goes out there and cuts promos and she's saying like, "I can legit break you in half," she can legit break those two in half if she wanted to. So I mean, it makes sense for her to be.
Literally break them two in half. And now we're talking about the Ronda, and everybody else. I want to bring up the video. The video, Kyrie, you brought me attention to this. It's brought me to have attention to this video. For those who don't know, Ronda on her YouTube channel, I believe one of the two.
I think it was her official YouTube channel. I might be
it's her YouTube channel.
It was on her official YouTube channel. Basically, cut a promo, a heel promo. If it wasn't the most heel-like promo, I don't know what else it could have been. I mean, she literally cursed every 5 seconds. And not only did she curse, but she was so confident and she was so frustrated and she was so angry that it felt real to me. I'm just kind of reminiscing off what she said. She said, what is it? F those B words, pretty much. Everybody knows I'm better than those. I believe something like that. I'm better than those BITCHs. But she was just going off. Like
don't forget, she also said she called WWE fake and scripted. She said how she's better than every one of those B's. Now, this is my whole thing. I mean, I'm not one of these people who feels this is a shoot. I think I think it's more of a work shoot. I mean, I'm not big on that, obviously, because I'm not big on work shoots because of WCW 2000. But I did bring this up. Is back in WCW, especially around that time, you didn't know who to answer to. Basically, because you didn't know if Hogan was in charge, Russo, Bischoff. Like a lot of people had different parts of being in charge. While WWE is only one person, Vince. So everything has to go through Vince eventually. But I'm not big on her calling stuff fake and all that. I'm not big on that. I think I saw. I'm not someone who think. I don't hate Ronda or anything. I personally don't like her calling it fake. Now I do enjoy the fact that it could get some more eyes on a product. But the problem is you have people outside of WWE that already feels it's fake. Like people that watch UFC who like Ronda, but people that don't like Ronda from UFC that don't watch WWE, so they hear her saying it's fake, then they're obviously still gonna think it's fake even more now because she's saying it. And I just hope I really hope Becky or someone brings this up. Ronda saying how she was legit in UFC, but her last UFC fight she got the hell beat out of her. I'm hoping someone bring that up. I saw a tweet. I'm hoping someone brings that up.
I think Charlotte said that.
No,
Charlotte said something like that.
No, you gotta say it now. No, you really gotta go say it now because you don't get to say, "Oh, I own the UFC" when you got only your last 2 fights. And let's also, hell, you want to go deep. Let's also forget, and you can also bring up the fact she doesn't know how to take a loss because she said she contemplated suicide when she lost her first fight. I mean, that might be getting a little bit too dark, but if she wants to take it there, well, let's take it there. That's what I would do.
I like stuff I like when stuff like this gets personal because this is
me too. Because you legitimately cannot tell. Like when you sent me that video, Karen, in the ultra large Twitter thread, when you sent me that, you just skipped to 8:30. I skipped to 8:30, and she starts spazzing. I'm like, okay, is she breaking the fourth wall right now? Like, is this legitimately like real? Like that was the first thing that I was thinking. Like, okay, maybe they're giving her a lot of leeway. But it got to the point where I was like, okay, this is too much leeway. I'm really starting to question, like, is this legitimately how she feels? And she started saying all this pro wrestling is fake and this and that. And I'm just like, I want to see what's going to happen next now. Like, I want to see because now it made me think, like, you remember the interview Stephanie McMahon had after after the Ronda Rousey beats up Becky Lynch thing and how she was kind of like interviewing. I started to question that. Like I was like, okay, is that a little bit of truth too? Like, does she really feel a little confused? Like, it makes it even more intriguing, and that's why I'm like, okay, she's saying pro wrestling's fake and all of that. So many eyes are on this now. So many eyes, and let's be real. If this was a part of the plan, this is the best plan they've had in a very, very long time. And I don't mind her calling it fake because people know pro wrestling, some of the stuff that they do outside of the ring is fake. Inside the ring, come on, we already know that's real. People actually get hurt in that ring. You can't fake an injury.
No.
But you know, the majority of the people who heard of the term sports entertainment or heard WWE think it's fake. I mean, you can't hide that. That's always going to be there no matter what. But so her saying it, I was just like, okay, this is getting very, very good. I thought it was a smart move.
See, I do think like I hope and think that she got the okay from WWE to say that. However, I do think Ronda did say some stuff that she felt came from the heart.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
I mean, the way she got on the fans, I believe every word she said.
Mm-hmm.
But those are what makes those are the best promos though. When you speak
the best. That's why I'm like,
and you speaking what you feel. Those are the best ones. I mean, obviously she was upset with the fans because I don't think she really still understands kind of what pro wrestling is a little bit. You know, I think she was a little confused. She was definitely confused, you know, when she had that promo when she stopped and she was confused and all the fans were booing her and everything. She was a little confused about what was going on right there. So I mean, I think she's a little confused about why fans are reacting to what else. But when she starts to understand the business more, she'll get it. She'll understand that.
See, Malik, I get y'all. I would like remember when Ronda first debuted, we were saying how she didn't understand it with things like that. I gave her that excuse because she was still new. At this point, if you're still letting fans get to you, no, I'm not giving you that excuse anymore. I'm sorry.
Wow, bro.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, but I've heard much worse said to the other people who took it in stride. But yet, and you can't take being booed. Come on now. I've heard people literally chant to John Cena and Roman Reigns "F you." Eventually go away. And the worst thing that's going on is you're getting booed, and you want no. I'm not. I don't feel sympathy for you. That doesn't work that way. You are a professional wrestler.
Those people been in the business way longer than she.
Yep. Ronda Rousey's only been in there for like what 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. I don't know.
Okay, well here's my counter argument.
About a year now. Well, a year now.
Well, here's my counter argument. She was getting booed in UFC and she handled that perfectly fine. Now I don't want to hear that. Like I said before, if you can't handle being booed, then what the hell are you doing in the professional wrestling business?
That's very true.
I'm sorry, but like I understand like some people might not handle it different ways. But when I've heard, when you watch ECW One Night Stand 06 and watch Roman Reigns promo the night the WrestleMania 33, I don't give Ronda no excuses. The worst they did was boo.
ECW. If Ronda Rousey, if she didn't like that booing, she wouldn't survive ECW. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, but John literally went into the Hammerstein Ballroom that night, the most hated man in the world, had everything, every type of profanity you think of yelled at him. He had toilet paper thrown at him, and he took it in stride. Ronda gets booed, and she's about to cry. Come on now. Hell, Roman at the WrestleMania 33 for like 5 minutes didn't say anything and was listening to the crowd chant everything in the world to him. And yet, what did he say? Got them in the palm of my hand. But Ronda looks like she's about to cry and she got booed at Survivor Series.
I would have took that booing as kind of like adrenaline, really. If I was in her position and I was supposed to cut a face promo, I'm happy with the fact they're even giving me a reaction. It's like you think about it, some of these wrestlers come out, for example, Apollo will come out and would get no reaction. Let's be real. Like you're legitimately you're still getting a reaction. So what you're doing is contributing in some way to provoke the audience to have some type of reaction of emotion, whether it being good or bad. So that's what I see. I don't know why she was so upset. That's the name of the game. Like if you're a wrestling fan, you know, like you're not gonna get cheered all the time. And then especially you're going against people like Becky Lynch, who is literally the biggest, the most over person female in the women's division. You're not going to get booed? I mean, you could be freaking, I don't know, I don't know, some other very popular female athlete, you're still going to get booed if it comes to Becky Lynch. I mean, she's literally taking over that crowd.
See,
Anybody who steps in the ring with Becky Lynch is going to get booed.
I mean, here's the thing. The only time I can kind of give Ronda an excuse was the night of some Royal Rumble when she couldn't really talk due to the crowd. That's probably the only, and they had to send Bailey out there earlier. But and I think the crowd like threw off her game. I'm okay with that because that can happen when you're cutting a promo. But you can't let the crowd get in your feelings. That's one thing you can't do.
That's true.
But she bounced back at the promo. She cut that promo after the match though.
Yeah.
And then you see my point why Ronda should be more heel like and serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the heel run is gonna work for her. And
it's almost right?
Her going up against Becky though. I mean, she's gonna have to be heel. She ain't gonna have a choice. She can try to be babyface all she wants, but it's not gonna work.
Now I've seen a report saying WWE's not sure he's gonna win this match because about Ronda leaving. I said, screw that. If Ronda wins this match because they wanted to stay, then that's a slap in the face and everything Becky's done since SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's trying to swerve people. I don't think Becky's the winner. She's not losing either way. You can't convince me she's losing.
Hell, for all we know, hell, Charlotte might even win knowing how WWE is. Let's be real.
And
because
then,
if Ronda's leaving, that would give Becky and Charlotte another feud right there. And I mean, shoot, who knows what they could do with that? This is WWE.
This match, you have three legit women in this match who you could see winning. I mean, that's what makes the match so hard to predict. But I mean, I don't see Becky losing either way. Whether it be especially if it's going to be the main event, she's not losing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. She's no way she's losing. You know,
people will not be happy if this is the main event of WrestleMania for the first female ever, right? If Charlotte wins this match, come on now. The reaction is going. This is going to ruin WrestleMania.
And it's New York, and it's in New York. Don't forget, they're gonna do the mess out of that.
The same with Ronda. So I mean, the only way you have is this. Becky's got to win. She's gonna win, and she's gonna have that moment. It's gonna be like WrestleMania 30. You know, she's gonna win. People are gonna go crazy and be hell happy. It's gonna be that good. It's gonna be that good ending for WrestleMania that you want to see.
Yep.
Yeah, something that we didn't get the last couple of years. Now, have we?
It's been a while since we got one of those. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a while.
You know, and you want to talk about good endings? Let's talk about the Shield, man. Monday Night Raw, Seth, Roman called out Seth. Everybody was thinking, okay, because you know, in Roman's talk in this whole segment, he wanted the Universal title. But the only person who's stopping him from the Universal title is his Shield brother, Seth Rollins. And he calls out Seth Rollins and pretty much says, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on between our other brother, it being Dean Ambrose. Let's get, and I quote, let's get the gang back together. Let's get the Shield back together. It was pretty, if you think about it, it was a little emotional. Because eventually in the show, Dean Ambrose joined hands, pretty much Shield, the whole thing, you know, that other stuff, and said, let's do this one last time before I go. Now, Kyron, you said you didn't watch Monday Night Raw, so I'm going to ask Malik. Like, a lot of people are saying that this whole Dean Ambrose contract expiring is a part of storyline. What do you think about that?
Well, go ahead,
Malik. I think it's true. When they announced a couple months ago that he was leaving, right off the bat, this didn't make sense to me. When did they ever announce that the superstar is leaving the company, especially a big star like that? You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't think it's real. I think it's a part of some storyline they got involved. I don't know what the storyline is. But if he does leave, I would be surprised if he does leave. Maybe he does leave. Maybe he does walk away and leave. Maybe that's why they're doing the whole Shield thing one last time if he does leave. But I don't think he's leaving. Maybe he goes away after WrestleMania and takes some time off or something and goes in hiatus and then comes back out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So maybe that happens. But the whole Shield thing, you know, Shield is always been one of my favorite groups. I really liked them when they first came up. I've always liked the Shield. I've always liked all three guys. I'm okay with them, having the little tag team match doesn't bother me. It is what it is. I guess it's the last pay-per-view for WrestleMania, so just to kind of get the fans something before WrestleMania, I guess. I don't have a problem with it. We obviously know where Seth's going to go after WrestleMania. He's got Brock Lesnar. Don't know what Dean Ambrose is doing. We don't know what Roman Reigns is doing either. So, and I've heard rumors for Roman Reigns' opponent, but God, I hope it's not true. I pray to God it's not true. Please don't.
Yeah, I heard he's against Baron Corbin.
I'm not for that.
I hope it's not Baron Corbin, man. Give him somebody else, please. I'll even take Dean Ambrose. If Dean Ambrose is really leave, I'll take a Dean Ambrose match over that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what this plan, what it means for after this for those guys. Obviously they're gonna do something. I figured they would. No disrespect to Baron Corbin, but I figured they would do something bigger with him. You know what I mean? Like Drew McIntyre or something. But I mean, Baron Corbin though, I'm not really feeling that. And like I said, we know where Seth's going. He's got Brock Lesnar. He's got Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Dean Ambrose, don't know what he does. I don't know. He might be in the Battle Royal for all we know. So, I don't know what the future holds for these guys, but I'm happy to see Roman back though. Him healthy. Happy to see him back. And like I said, the Shield thing it's all right with me. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't like when they say I don't like when they do stuff like this is gonna be the last time that we see. It's not gonna be the last time we see these guys together. They'll be together. It may be the last time we've seen them in a while, but this ain't gonna be the last time ever we see these guys team up. So that's the only thing I don't like when they do things like that. But other than that, I'm alright with the whole reunion thing. What do you think?
I'm not big on the Shield getting back together. Same reason I wasn't big on it every other time they came down back together. Because they don't need it. I don't feel like it's needed. I mean, you failed the last two Shield reunions, and now you're doing the third one. If it's for a short time, then cool. But I'm not big on the Shield reunion.
You freeze up or something?
Nah, I went on mute for a second.
Come on, him. Where's he at?
I don't know. Yo, Mark. He probably went somewhere or something.
So he probably froze up. He probably might have froze up or something. I think he froze up. Hold on, let me. Because we live on his channel. So.
I'm back. I heard what you guys were saying. I had to, had a little bathroom break, But yeah, I heard you guys saying. Yeah, like we were saying earlier with Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin. I hope that's not true. I did not come across anything that you said though, Karen. So would you happen to say anything?
All I said was that after two reunions, I'm not feeling the third Shield reunion. I wasn't really feeling any of them. But because you failed the first two times they got back together, now you're gonna do it the third time. If it's short term, then fine. But I'm not big on another Shield reunion.
The first time they got back together, didn't Ambrose get hurt?
Wrong. Yeah, Ambrose got hurt the first time.
The second time they got back together, Roman had the whole leukemia thing. So they were still together. They were still together when he had the leukemia, right?
Yeah. Because Dean and Seth won the tag team titles that night.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't really link it with it. That's just unfortunate stuff that happens. But I mean, I was just I was a little surprised when they did when he first told Seth to come out. I thought he was going to say when he won the Universal Championship, I want the first shot or something like that. I want the first title shot or something. But then he said he wanted to put the band back together. I was like, I don't really need to see a Shield reunion. But I guess, I mean, people like the Shield. I love the Shield, me personally. But do they need to get back together? No. Does it do anything for them? No. But I guess it's something for them to do before WrestleMania. Because after this pay-per-view, we know what's going to happen. After this pay-per-view, we know where Seth is going. And then the other two, well, obviously they're going to do something with Roman Reigns. But I don't know about Dean Ambrose. I don't know if he even makes the card. He might be in the Battle Royal. But obviously they're going to do something with Roman Reigns, though. He's going to be at WrestleMania. I don't know who he fights. It's said it's supposed to be Baron Corbin, but I hope they give him somebody better than Baron Corbin. I mean, I'll take him and Drew McIntyre over that. I mean, I'd rather see that or, him and I don't know who else on Raw. I mean, the only person on Raw I can think of is Drew McIntyre, to be honest. That's the only person I would want to see him fight in a singles match.
You know, and if they're gonna do this third show union, they gotta do it right. I'm talking. If I were to book this, you gotta go back to when they first started. You gotta go back the matching, you know, attire. You gotta have the face mask. You gotta have. I'm talking. And Dean's already crazy. Lunatic Fringe. Um, but you gotta really take it back to when they first started. If you want to do it right, if you're talking some one last time stuff, you gotta do it right. I mean, there's you can't you literally cannot make it seem like Roman. This just to me, I feel like Roman's gear when they do the Shield reunions, Roman's gear always differentiates from the other. I don't know. It looks a lot different from when they first started, and I think like if they want to do this the third time, it has to be right. Everything has to be like a shout out to when they first started as the shit. Because they're building this up as if it's never going to happen. Like that's what I see. So if that's the case, then just do it right, man.
One thing that has me thinking why they might be doing this reunion is maybe they're not 100% want Roman to work 1-on-1 yet. They're just trying to keep it safe for Roman. So put him in the Shield with the Shield this Sunday. You don't want to. He doesn't have to do too much, and you can protect him like that. That's something I'm thinking that probably could be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sure.
I would see that happening. I think for his first match being back, this is a test to see what he can do. If he's all right with being in the ring, you know what I mean. If he's all right with doing his thing again, so I think it's kind of like a test to see, just to make sure that he's ready to go.
So we've spent a lot of time on Raw. Let's run through SmackDown the past 2 weeks because I want to mention probably the biggest thing that could possibly happen. Uh, Kofi Kingston. Literally after the Elimination Chamber, who at the time he stole the show. I mean, I knew Kofi was good from the get go, but Chamber he really stole the show, and I think everybody could see the same. Kofi Kingston, I want to say 2 weeks ago, was given a title shot, Fastlane, and they were signing contract signing. Vince McMahon comes out of nowhere and rips the opportunity that Kofi has worked for 11 years in the making and is giving it to the returning KO, who, by the way, obviously you can tell lost the weight, which is good. We gave it to the returning KO. A lot of people were pissed off. I know you two were pissed off. Please tell me you two were pissed off.
I mean,
I wasn't only because I think this now means that Kofi Kingston's going to get the match at WrestleMania.
That's what I'm hoping.
I've heard rumors that Vince McMahon is actually considering putting the title on him. So I mean,
I believe it when I see
it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I mean, for him to have the match at Fastlane, I never believed he was going to win either way. I didn't believe he was going to beat Daniel Bryan. It was going to be a great match. I was like, oh, he's not going to win though. It's going to be kind of gets that moment, but he won't win. But if it happens at WrestleMania, man, that's hard to call right there, man. I mean, I could legit see Kofi Kingston could actually win that title. So I mean, I knew a lot of people were going to be upset. I was shocked when he said Kevin Owens because I mean he said replacement. I was like, who the hell is he talking about? And he said Kevin Owens. I was like, whoa, that's
a slap.
That was crazy because I didn't know. I mean, when he was coming back, but we didn't know when he was coming back or how he was going to come back. So I mean, I thought it was kind of unique how they did that. But I think WWE kind of switched plans because they saw people react to him and his performance in the Elimination Chamber. And I think Vince McMahon might have been sold on the fact, okay, this could be my match at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. So I think he decided to switch plans at the last minute and get Kofi Kingston for the match at WrestleMania. I don't know how they give him the match at WrestleMania. Maybe he has to earn it in the match. I don't know. They do something with it, but I'm all right with them doing this because I think this doesn't make sense for them to give Kofi the match and take him out and then not do something with that. You know what I mean? This doesn't make any sense. So I mean,
and you want to know the crazy thing was, like, they said Mustafa Ali before he got hurt was supposed to be in the position Kofi Kingston's in, and
Right.
he was supposed to win actually at the Elimination Chamber.
I don't believe that.
I've heard. I was on the website. I heard it on Twitter's. I saw it on Twitter as well.
I don't know if he would have won before WrestleMania. I don't know if I believe
No,
that. Maybe somewhere down the road, maybe, but before
Mustafa,
WrestleMania.
that's what they said. Mustafa Ali was supposed to be in Kofi Kingston's position before he got hurt, and he was supposed to win at Elimination Chamber.
See, I know Mustafa was gonna get that, but gonna be in position. But he wasn't gonna win that match. I don't believe that part. He wasn't winning that match.
They said he's supposed to be the underdog. They said the way they built up Kofi was the way they were going to build up Mustafa.
And I believe all that, but he was not winning that match.
Yeah, not before WrestleMania. They're gonna have Mustafa Ali go into WrestleMania as the champion. No way, man. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I do think he would have been in that position, though. I do think he would have been, they wanted him to get in that position that Kofi was in. But, I mean, it's unfortunate, though. He got hurt before then. And then, Kofi Kingston was the guy they replaced him with. And, he had that incredible gauntlet match where he was in there for an hour just tearing it down. And people just kind of, I think people kind of forgot how good Kofi was because he does the whole New Day gimmick. He's always throwing the pancakes and he's doing the whole dance. And he's always happy, just doing gimmick stuff. But Kofi Kingston can go, man. He's always been really, really undervalued to me. If you go back, 2009, he did stuff with Randy Orton before Randy Orton did that whole thing. That stuff, he was really, really over with them, man. The whole series. I like Kofi Kingston when he gets serious like that. When he gets real serious like that, he's really, really good like that, man. I think, if they're gonna put the belt on him, it has to be now. It's either now or never. If it doesn't happen at WrestleMania, it's never gonna happen. So.
Yeah, I agree. And you talk about title changes. My boy Samoa Joe.
This time
got a belt. Thank
I actually
God.
thought so in this match when they had Joe come out. I actually was like, oh, they might be planning some type of ladder match now because last week they had a triple threat with those two with Andrade and Mysterio, and then Samoa Joe came out, so they might be planning a triple threat, and then next week they'll do a fatal 5-way, and somebody else will come out, and then next week after that they'll do something like that. But then Joe won. I was like, "Woo!" I was actually pretty happy. Now it's rumored that he's supposed to be facing John Cena at WrestleMania now. So I mean, I'm all in for that. I mean, I want to see Samoa Joe and John Cena for a while. So I mean, if this is the plan now for him at WrestleMania and John Cena put the belt on for U.S. title, I'm in for it.
Yeah, I wanted to see Cena versus Joe for a long time. So yeah, I'm definitely want to see that.
I'm just so happy Joe got a freaking belt. Like, jeez.
Now that he has the belt, the question is are they gonna do the right things now that he has the belt? You know what I mean? Because when's the last time somebody had the U.S. title where it felt like part of the show, where you felt like it was actually a part of the show? Right?
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles or John Cena? I mean, it's like Nakamura ruined his title run was only his title.
They fucked Nakamura over a long time ago, so I didn't really care.
Then they put it on. They put it on Rusev for like a couple weeks. Gave it back to Nakamura. Then Nakamura dropped it to R-Truth. R-Truth wasn't then after R-Truth won it. He wasn't even on TV for like 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully they make Samoa Joe involved in good stuff, where the U.S. title feels important and he has a good title.
I really hope they do Joe right, man. This is what I pray happens. Like, you knowing who has that belt. Let's just think about it. You can't mess up with Joe. Like,
they already did. They messed up by not giving the Universal title back at Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying from the aspect, like, Joe has literally everything you need in a champion. Mic skills. Oh, come on. Joe on the mic is like music to your ears. Like, he literally, like, think of the one segment. Everybody remembers the segment. Joe comes out a couple years back. Brock, Roman's out there, and Joe's pretty much stating his claim, saying, "Yo, I'm gonna get you, Brock." And he was going at it at Brock, and he told Brock, "Hey, look at me when I'm talking to you, or we can settle this right now." I don't know if you guys remember when he said that, but the crowd went crazy.
You want hold up, Mark, you want to talk about Joe and the mic? Just look at the promo he cut a couple weeks ago when he just went in on everybody in Elimination Chamber match. That had me cracking up laughing. First off, he says, "Then believe me, Randy, I know I got size up with you, and when I defend the Viper, believe me, ain't gonna come from nowhere. Jeff, I already put your ass to sleep. I don't know why you out here. Keep talking, Joe. Hey, pretend it's an A meeting, and you keep quiet while I'm staying with the group."
Yeah. He went in. He literally, his mic skills are the best right now in WWE. Wrestling wise, for him to be damn near 300 pounds, he's like 260 something.
He's something.
Yeah, he's like close. He's closer to 300 than he is to 200. For him to be that big, the stuff that he does is insane. He is a submission machine. He should have held the title. Him and Braun Strowman should have held the title a while ago. Yeah. So like, it's a bit. I'm happy they gave him the U.S. title. Now what he has to do is he has to hold it and make that title relevant again.
Yeah.
Same the IC title, like Finn Balor, he needs to make that title relevant again. The last person I remember who made that IC title relevant,
Seth Rollins. No, Seth Rollins. Seth
The Miz too.
Obviously, but Seth had it last.
Oh, Seth had it last. I'm just saying the Miz as well. That was the first person that came up into my head. I mean, of course, Grand Slam Rollins. We all, yes, WrestleMania 34. We understand. But yeah, I'm happy they got Joe the title, and I just want to see what they're gonna do next. I hope that what they do next is right. I hope they make him. What I hope they do is if they're not gonna do John Cena versus Joe, I hope they do a ladder match at Mania.
I'd be down with that. But hold up, Mark. I think that's what's going to be saved for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. You get the Usos, the Hardys, you get the Bar. If you want to do Sanity, get Sanity. Hell, Aleister Black and Ricochet, that's probably what they're going to do tag team titles.
Yeah.
I've heard the tag team titles is going to be the Usos and the Hardys.
That's what I heard.
Oh, man, come on. You can do more than that.
I think the ladder match is going to be for the Intercontinental title. So they should just have the money. This is why Money in the Bank needs to be WrestleMania.
Yes, they need to bring Money in the Bank back. Yep, I agree.
It doesn't need to be its own pay per view.
It's pointless. It doesn't even sound right when I hear it.
The only reason I guess I'm okay with having his own pay per view now is because he got 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. Yep. That's probably the only reason.
Yep.
But you can find another time to do the women's Money in the Bank. Let's say you do that at SummerSlam and get the men's at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I guess we good.
They got tag team titles, so that wouldn't make sense anymore.
So, now we're approaching. You said what?
Go ahead.
No, you're right. Go ahead, bro.
I said they could do both ladder matches at WrestleMania, but now they got the tag team titles for the women, so I mean they can't.
Yeah, I feel like that would make WrestleMania even longer than it already is.
Yeah, because that was always my favorite way for WrestleMania to start was with the ladder match, and I mean that was always a good way to start WrestleMania with the Money in the Bank. So I don't know why they took it off WrestleMania. I wish they would bring it back to WrestleMania. I mean, please bring it back to WrestleMania. Hopefully one day they do it, man.
It set the tone for WrestleMania.
The last time they did it was 9 years ago, like 9 years of WrestleMania 26. So I mean,
so much better. And to be fair, that Money in the Bank ladder match wasn't that good.
Yeah, that was the worst one at WrestleMania history. So, but the other ones before that were all good. They were all entertaining. They were all good. I've always enjoyed them. So I mean, I always thought that was a good way to open WrestleMania. Or if not to open WrestleMania, it was like the best way to feel like to be the second match. You know what I mean? So I always say we just bring it. Just makes more sense for it to bring it back because then you have superstars that we probably know aren't going to be on the WrestleMania card and feud, so you can just put them in the ladder match instead of putting them in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, the Battle Royal was kind of
pointless.
Yeah.
It was only good the first year. The first year, it was like, all right, they did the first year, but then after that, it was kind of like,
They're making it annual now. It's like the women's Battle Royal. Like they're making it annual. If you want to do that, you bring men's and women's ladder matches, and then whoever wins that got an opportunity to.
No, I'm not big with 2 ladder matches on the same WrestleMania card.
Okay.
I don't think they should do it now because now they have the women's tag team titles. You know what I mean? So you have two women's championships, and you have the tag team titles, and you have a women's ladder match. But I don't think they should do that.
And then you got the SmackDown Women's Championship where you're gonna have Asuka lose the title to Lacey Evans. You got Sasha and Bayley probably taking on Trish and Lita, which I actually want to see. And then you got the triple threat.
You know, you mentioned Sasha and Bayley going against Trish and Lita. I personally would rather see somebody else, and that somebody else, if you guys are on Twitter,
the Pirate Princesses.
Huh?
The Pirate Princesses.
Yes, I would rather see them.
You think who? Wait, who?
The Pirate Princesses.
Kairi Sane and Io Shirai. I mean, I want to see them. They're gonna take on Trish and Lita at WrestleMania, but why not do? You could do Sasha and Bayley versus Kairi Sane and Io Shirai at a takeover because they'll be I think they'll be defending tag team titles in NXT too. So
I like where your head's at, Kyron. I like where it's at.
I ain't hear nothing about them going back to NXT for that, but I mean, it could be true.
Yeah,
I mean, they're down in NXT lately. Why? You're not just gonna have them go down there for no reason. I mean, have them defend the titles in NXT. Think of it this way: obviously not take over New York because they're gonna be defending titles at WrestleMania. But the next takeover, do Bayley and Sasha versus Io Shirai and Kairi Sane.
That'll be good. I'd rather see that. Me personally, I'd rather see that match in Mania than Takeover because I mean either way, Takeover is Mania. That's kind of how I see it. Takeover is like NXT's WrestleMania. So regardless of where I see it, it doesn't matter. But I mean, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I actually rather see the Takeover because the fans would be more invested.
Exactly.
The fans will be way more invested. They will be on that match like as if it was Bayley and Sasha at Brooklyn. Like they would be on that match big time. I'm talking everybody in that arena will be on their feet cheering like on for that match to keep going. Because we know Io Shirai and Kairi Sane are no joke. I've watched that tag team wrestle, and they are good. They are very, very good. And I would love to see that match. So I don't mind them wrestling at NXT takeovers. It's gonna be a busy schedule for them, but that's what you get when you hold a title for the first time. But let's before we end this off, let's do this rundown because we do have Fastlane approaching. We do have Fastlane approaching, and you know, in the previous episodes, when we have a pay-per-view approaching, we always got to do our predictions. So I'm gonna start off with simple.
Let's just run down the match card. I don't think we really need to do any analysis here.
Yeah, we have KO versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. We have Asuka and Mandy Rose for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We have Becky Lynch and Charlotte. If Becky Lynch wins, she's added to the WrestleMania match. If she loses, she is done for. We have the Shield versus Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley. We also have the Raw Tag Team Championships, which would be the Revival going against Aleister Black and Ricochet, Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, I do believe. So it's 3 tag teams, I believe.
Just look up the card.
I am. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. Revival going against Aleister Black, Ricochet, and Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. We also have the Women's Tag Team Championship, the Boston Hood Connection, going against Nia Jax and Tamina. And we also have the Usos versus the Miz and Shane McMahon for SmackDown Tag Team Championships. That seems like a decent card. I feel like we already know who will win certain matches. I don't feel like we much need, unless you guys want to say who's going to win.
I just run through the card real quick.
Yeah.
I got the Usos. I got Daniel Bryan. I got Sasha and Bayley. I got Asuka. I got the Shield. I got Becky. I've got the Revival. I've got Andrade, and I've got the New Day.
Malik.
Daniel Bryan, the Revival, Asuka, Sasha and Bailey, the Usos. What were the other ones?
Becky and
On the main
Charlotte.
card. Oh yeah, and Charlotte loses. Becky wins.
You got the what else we got? Sasha and Bailey and Nia and Tamina.
Yeah, I said Sasha and Bailey. Sasha and Bailey definitely winning that one.
Pre-show you got Rey Mysterio and Andrade.
That's definitely.
I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna go Andrade.
And you got New Day versus Nakamura and Rusev.
I'm gonna go New Day for that one.
The Shield versus Corbin and his guys.
Oh yeah, the Shield one. I forgot about that man. Shield.
That's it. For me, I would have to say for the WWE Championship, I would have to go with Daniel Bryan. That's one. For the Becky Lynch Charlotte Flair match, I'm going with Becky Lynch because there's no reason why she wouldn't be in the main event match. The Shield versus McIntyre, Corbin, and Lashley. The Shield because it's the whole one-time thing. Mandy Rose versus Asuka. Asuka definitely. Usos versus Miz and Shane McMahon. The Usos. The Boston Hook Connection versus Tamina and Nia Jax. I have the Boston Hook Connection because they're not done yet. The Revival versus Black Ricochet and Root and Gable. I actually have the Revival winning that one. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade. I have Andrade. New Day versus Rusev and Nakamura. Definitely New Day.
So we all agree with every match.
Yeah, we pretty much agree with every match. I told you it's not one of those pay-per-views where you really have to think. It's just a nice little setup for WrestleMania.
That's how Fastlane always is, though.
Yeah, I don't even know why they have that pay-per-view, to be honest with you.
There really is no need. I think at the Elimination Chamber, you shouldn't have to have another pay-per-view.
No, not at all. It's
Yeah,
pointless.
don't really need it, but I can't wait until after this paper's over. Then we can officially focus on WrestleMania. So.
Yeah,
like I said last week on your show, Malik, it's not feeling like WrestleMania season.
I'm excited already. I like what they're doing.
I am too.
I like the matches they've named so far. I've like, yeah, obviously there's more matches that they haven't announced yet that we don't know what they're doing. But I mean, I think Raw will be. That's when it's gonna start feeling like WrestleMania is right around. I mean, it's almost here, but I mean, that's when I think the Raw after Fastlane is gonna get pretty intense.
Question, Malik. We do anything on your channel? Since we're about to sign off, we do anything tomorrow on your channel?
I'm having a debate tomorrow on my channel. Yes.
What debate are we doing so I can know what to be ready for?
Are you gonna be on it? I think I already have two. I think I already have two guests. So I mean, I'm supposed to have Conrad and I'm supposed to have Brian Williams. Brian Williams does a lot of stuff for like he makes the WWE video games. So he does like he used to do like the SmackDown vs. Raws and he does stuff for them now too. But
really?
Yeah. He does.
I think that's for him.
Yeah, he does a lot of that stuff. He does. I talked to him a lot on Twitter. So he does a lot of that stuff. But I did a podcast with him on Conrad's channel before. We did I think it was after Elimination Chamber, I believe. We did a podcast, but he does a lot of that stuff. And tomorrow's debate. We're doing a debate tomorrow on my channel. We're doing top 10 greatest rivalries of all time. So
rivalries. Oh.
All my debates have been pretty tough. So this is my third one. It's gonna be my channel. So make sure you guys go tune in and watch it if you guys want.
When you doing it, bro, I'm gonna shut you up.
4 p.m. tomorrow. 4 p.m.
If you want me to be on, send me the link. I'm not doing anything tomorrow.
All right. Well, if nobody shows up, I got you. Because I only usually do 2 people because I don't want to put too many people in there because in a debate it might take forever. You know what I mean? So because the debate is everybody. We all have to agree on the list, so everybody has to agree on the exact list. So that's what makes it hard that everybody agree. I mean, there have been the last 2 lists. Have been completely. There have been things that I agree with and things I didn't agree with. So it's we all agree on. So I mean, it has to be what everybody agrees on. It's all part of the game.
Well, we about to sign off then, Mark.
Absolutely. Well, further ado, fellas, make sure you guys subscribe to these two. You guys, in case there's anybody new, which I was looking in the group chat, it was a bunch of random faces I've never seen before, names. If they're still watching, would you guys want to tell them where they can find you and follow you and all your other stuff, like social media and such? Kyron, you want to go ahead?
You follow me on my Twitter, Splashbro Calvin, my Instagram, Splashbro_Calvin, my Tumblr and DeviantArt, Calvin Chase, YouTube account, Calvin Chase. I do videos on wrestling, Sonic the Hedgehog, My Little Pony, Fridges and Magic. And speaking of that show, since season 9 for me last season of that show, I plan on reviewing every episode of that season. And I sometimes do reaction videos. So I got I got a lot of stuff I do.
Malik, tell them where they can find you, bro.
You guys can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Narcolepsy Boy 94. I do wrestling reactions. I will be doing reactions Sunday for Fastlane. I do trivias. If you guys are into trivia stuff, I do podcasts, debates on wrestling and other non-stuff. I also do games live stream sometimes. I'm gonna start getting back into that. I actually made a what's that stream thing called? Like the big main like game stream place that everybody streams on. I can't think of the name right now. I can't think of the top of my head. It's so
Twitch.
It's so simple. Yeah, Twitch. Yeah, I can't think of the top of my head. Yeah, I also do that, and I also have a podcast on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. It's called 24/7 Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you guys go check that out. Just put out a new episode today, so make sure you guys go check that out. And I'll be doing the debates tomorrow on my channel, talking about the top 10 greatest rivalries of all time in wrestling. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. And everybody has to agree on the list, so it's not like a debate where we all have to agree on the exact list, which makes the debate hard because everybody has different opinions. You know what I mean? So make sure you guys go subscribe to my channel and go check it out.
You are a busy freaking man, bro. Yes, but if you guys are not aware of this channel, this is your first time on my channel. At one point, I was doing non-wrestling podcast. Need to get back into that. I definitely need to get back into that. But the past couple of weeks, I've been putting up videos, kind of having a little resurgence of my channel. Had a little pretty fairly sustainable drought with this channel in regards to videos. And my loyal subscribers, I very much so apologize. But Negro is back. Yes, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Go show them some love. Go subscribe to the channel. You already know what the whole nine thing is, what the whole deal is. I'll see you guys next Friday. If anything changes, hit my Twitter up. If you don't know what my Twitter is, go watch my videos. I'll see you guys later. Take care.